ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ओम गणपते नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके देवी नारायणि नमोस्तुते। ओम नमो नारायणाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमः शिवाय। श्री हनुमते नमः। So, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 31st of July 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Bhagavan residing in the heart of every single being. We are continuing on the extraordinary journey to unravel the mysteries of Prem-Lakshana Bhakti. This is day number 31. We have spent this entire month on this subject, how time flies. Just Krupa, Bhagavan Sri Krishna Paramatma और उनकी जो महाशक्ति, हलादिनी शक्ति, संबित शक्ति, संधिनी शक्ति, अनंत शक्ति है परमात्मा की, जिसको हम कल्पना भी नहीं कर सकते. उनकी दया से, कृपा से, we can do some मनन चिंतन on this question, on this subject of Prema Bhakti. Prem-Lakshana Bhakti, the 10th Bhakti. When this is opened up by Krupa, Bhagavad Krupa, extraordinary, transcendental अनुभव, जिसको दिव्य अनुभव कहते हैं, वो सब चालू हो जाते. They begin in our lives. Why is that? Because we are going through, we meaning the Jivatma, is going through Jagrat, Swapna and Shushupti avasthas. Right? This is ये हमारा अनुभव है. This is our experience. So beyond these avasthas is the higher lokas, the lokas that are in the Brahmand, और इससे भी बाहर जो है, जिसको दिव्य भूमि कहते हैं, those are the divine धाम, दिव्य धाम, भगवान के धाम है. See, in the Mahabharata, there is a chapter called Moksha Dharma. It's a very interesting chapter actually. And in that chapter, there is a comparative and relative statement made regarding the Bhagavan, the Dham, the abode of God, Golok, Vaikunta, Shvetadvip, etc., Akshardham. ये सब भगवान के जो धाम है, compared to the Swarga, जिसको स्वर्ग लोक कहते हैं. We're not talking about Hawaii or Alaska or some beautiful places on this planet. वो तो कुछ नहीं है compared to the स्वर्ग लोक. ये जो स्वर्ग लोक जो है, above where we are, this is मृत्यु लोक. There are 7 lokas above, right? So they are extraordinary in terms of their beauty. Ati sundar. Everything is perfect, picture perfect, but even more intense and perfect than anything available in this world. This is not imaginary. ये कोई काल्पनिक बात नहीं है. साधना करो, भगवान की भक्ति करो, and if it is the will of God, if depending on one's desires, we have desires for material objects, and भगवान की भक्ति भी चल रही है. We still have a lot of worldly desires. So where does the person go after leaving this body? स्वर्ग में जाते for a long time, because a lot of punyam is accumulated. So the destination into the Swarga Loka is by very good karma. किसी को कोई दुख नहीं देना, all that kind of thing. Good niyam, dharma, karma, sab good quality karma is done and punyam is accumulated. A lot of punyam is accumulated. You've served the community, served the homeless, served whatever, served the destitute people, served your parents, served all punya karya. It is accumulated in the sukshma sharir, punyam. And that punyam results in a fruit. उसका एक फल आता है. वो फल क्या है? When we leave this body, भगवान क्या करते हैं कि इसका बहुत पुण्य अभी इसको स्वर्ग में, स्वर्गलोक में. There are different lokas there. There's Jan Lok, Mahar Lok, Tap Lok, Indra Lok, Brahma Lok. So many are there. They're extraordinary places. But they are within the Brahmand. वो ब्रह्मांड में ही है. So in the Moksha Dharma, that is written in the Mahabharata, a relative comparative statement is made about the Vaikuntha planets and the Golok Dham and the abode of God, जिसको in general we say भगवान का धाम. तो वो कैसा है और ये स्वर्ग कैसे है? The Svarga Lokas, in comparison to the Bhagavat Dham, the Svarga Lokas are like hell, Narka. Narka tulya hai ye. Actually, compared to where we are, they are absolutely, my God, is amazing, amazing. Like if you go to Hawaii, for example, and the island of Maui, there's a small town, it has 1,000 people are living there called Hana. And there's a road, it's a 10-hour trip, one-way road to go over there. And the scenery is just like picture perfect. I have gone there years back. This is 2003. This was my own experience. It's a very dangerous road, in fact. But you have to have the right tour bus and all that thing, then they take you safely. But the vistas and scenery, and you feel there is a heaven on earth. It's absolute heaven. But wo bhi kuch nahi hai. If you just go see the next level up, this will seem like this is absolutely meaningless. And you keep going up like this, up to Brahmalok. Brahmalok meaning jha Brahma ji hai. Brahma ji ka bhi ayush hai 100 years, as we have stated. Or he opens his eyes one time, 660 years goes by. Our 660 years. He closes his eyes one time, 660 years go by. Well, he's a Ishvara, but his body also goes away. And then all the other beings are underneath him. He's the creator. भगवान शंकर की बात अलग है, उनकी बात ऐसी नहीं है, और विष्णु जी की भी बात थोड़ी अलग है. I don't want to go into that right now. But my only point is that ब्रह्मांड के नीचे जो जितने अनुभव है, इससे बाहर निकलना है. If we want to go outside the ब्रह्मांड, तो भगवान की अचल भक्ति, भगवान विष्णु, भगवान कृष्ण, भगवान राम, भगवान शंकर, दुर्गा देवी, जो सनातन धर्म में जितने जो मेन स्वरूप है भगवान के, भगवान तो एक ही है, उनकी जो उपासना करेंगे, if we have upasana in the right sense, in the pure sense, and by krupa, unki hi krupa se, when the bhakta is ready, they take us out of sattva gun, and once that happens, once we are out of the sattva gun, the shuddha sattva gun, and you're sitting in bhakti, Sri Krishna tvam gatir mama, Sri Krishna sharanam mama, Radhe 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 Radhe, Bhagwan Krishna ka naam, Ram ka naam, Hanuman ji ka naam, Bhagwan Ram ka naam, etc. Bhagwan Shankar ka. You just take the name even one time. Unki krupa ho jati hai. You're sitting even just at home. Maybe your eyes are closed for 5 seconds. And that new dimension opens up beyond the Brahmand. Sab ananta bhumi hai waha. Ananta divya bhumika hai. And that is where we begin today. Again, I wish I had 5-6 hours to do this every day. I know we don't have the time, but anyway, we'll do what we can. It's so fantastic. Look at this paragraph we were looking at yesterday. Wo kya divya bhumi kaisi hai? We should know this, right? If we are devoted to Sri Krishna, Bhagwan or Paramatma ki bhakti kar rahe in any form, what is the destination? It's like, where are we going to wind up actually? So, as I stated before, I'm focusing only on Bhagwan Krishna and Radhika ji in these presentations, specifically based on the Gaudiya Vaishnav Acharyas and the analysis thereof. Okay, so there could be some other perspectives. There are, in fact, and we don't have time to do that kind of analysis right now, obviously. But I'm just mentioning that. Now, let's just stay on this track, and then we'll take it step by step from there. This is the paragraph we started looking at yesterday, and the paragraphs below are a further analysis of this one paragraph. So the one paragraph is what? The eternal groundwork of Nitya Vrajbhumi. Nitya meaning eternal, Vrajbhumi is inside Goloka. Right? So, as we mentioned yesterday, unlike the terrestrial geography, this landscape is composed of Chid Dravya, conscious substance, that is self-luminous, self-delighting, and perpetually responsive to the emotional cadence of Sri Krishna. This experience that is described here of the abode, that abode, meaning abode is the English word, dham is the word. Dham or dhami. Let's be clear about some of these words. When we use the word dham, dham means residence. Like, for example, Sachin is sitting in his 1-bedroom condominium right now. So we can say, I'm inside my condominium. I'm inside this room. तो इसको क्या कहते हैं? धाम कहते हैं. Dhami is the one who is living inside there. Similarly, Goloka, Vrindavan, is the abode, is the place of residence, and at the center of Golok Vrindavan is the temple of Radha and Krishna. Now this is an interesting point. Bhagwan Sri Krishna का जो मंदिर है वो एक एक्चुअल मंदिर है, but it's not like how we imagine temples here. It's something we cannot even imagine. But उसमें in the center of Goloka is भगवान श्री कृष्ण परमात्मा और उनके साथ राधिका जी, और वो उनका ही स्वरूप है. This is quite amazing. And then around them are just these extraordinary liberated beings, and और सब लोक है, गोलोक है. तब ये वो गोलोक कैसे बना, कहा क्या है, what is this Goloka? It's amazing subject. Amazing. Or that is a destination. That is absolutely the destination of the Jivatma that is gone outside the force of Maya, outside the entanglements of the Brahmand, outside the life and death cycle. Janam maran ke chakkar se bahar nikal gaya hai. And the Goloka is described here. This is a lot of deep language. We need to be very careful and go slowly. The Loka itself, for example, like we're living in this planet Earth. We have so many objects and everything that we see. So that Goloka Vrindavan is not like the terrestrial geography. The terrestrial geography is what we see here, or even like the Swargalokas. It's not like that. It is in fact Chid Dravya. Look, right, see this word carefully. Chid Dravya means conscious substance. My goodness. What is that? See, we don't see that here. We see stones, rocks, mountains, trees. I mean, trees are conscious, but stones, rocks, they may have some lower level of consciousness, but they are jada. Generally, the word is like inert. They don't have any life as such, right? Mountains, rocks, stones, pebbles. But that's not the case in Golok Vrindavan. Everything is conscious. It is self-luminous. It is Chid Dravya. Dravya meaning, it's just a word that means substance. That is used here, but that is conscious substance. And that is created by the will of Sri Krishna, his own place of residence, the Dham, Bhagavad Dham. It is self-luminous, Swayam Jyoti. We talked about this a bit yesterday or day before yesterday. It is self-luminous, self-delighting. What does that mean? What is self-delight? In this world, with this body, the way we are, you know what tends to happen. We are delighted by the sense objects. One of us goes to a nice high-class restaurant and said, what a beautiful atmosphere. The AC is good. All the different, chandeliers are there, and the food quality is fantastic. Every dish is like $30, $40, and the waiters and waitresses are dressed up. As soon as you go in, you say, delight. Delight. ऐसा नहीं होता? We go to somebody's wedding, high-class wedding, you say, This is not self-delight. This is a momentary experience of delight, of enjoyment, of something, that experience. But it is coming from the sense objects. It is dependent on the sense objects. It is temporary also. It is for some short period of time, and it will saturate. I've mentioned this before many times. That is not self-delight. जिसको स्वयं आनंद और जिसको कहते हैं आत्मानंद, self-delight, द भगवान का जो धाम है, द डिलाइट इज ऑफ दैट टाइप. इट इज कॉन्स्टेंट डिलाइट. It is not dependent the way it is in this world, that if this happens then I'm happy, if this happens then I'm happy, if this is nice, this is not. ये जो सब polarity है, all of this duality that we experience here, the dvanda that we experience here, that is not there. There is a duality in bhakti with Sri Krishna, but it's all one still. It's all conscious, it's all Satchit Ananda in the form of Haladini Shakti, Samvit Shakti and Sandhini Shakti. Now, let's look at that paragraph again. The self-delight, meaning the Chid Dravya, the landscape, the existence of the Nitya Vraj Bhumi, it is self-delighting. And here's the third component. I mean, there's thousands, there's infinite components, but we're just putting it this way. The third component is that Chid Dravya is perpetually responsive to the emotional cadence of Sri Krishna Bhagavan. Aha! ये क्या बात है? This is absolutely amazing. Whatever is existing in the bhumi there, all the Chidadravya, it is responding continuously, perpetually to the emotional cadence of Sri Krishna, because Bhagwan Krishna is the Ananda Kanda, and from him emits Ananda. Let's be clear. So all of that substance that is there, that self-luminous, self-delighting, perpetual Chidravya, it responds to Bhagwan Krishna with the emotional cadence. It is in constant resonance with the emotion of Sri Krishna. Now this, we cannot imagine this. How can we possibly imagine this? But to get a glimpse of this, I'll give you a simple example. Let's say you have a pure high level bhakta. 10th bhakti has opened up. 9 forms of devotion are going on all the time. And the 10th bhakti has actually opened by Krupa. And you're living at home, here on this planet. And pura ghar, not just, it's ek mandir banaya hai, no doubt. No doubt that the house, there's mandir and everything. But it's more than that. That the devotion is at such a level that all of the objects in the house, everything in the house, is beginning to vibrate with devotion. Is that possible? Yes. Definitely. Definitely it's possible. Why is it that we go to different temples? Because wahan bhakti hi hoti hai. Nothing else really should be going on there. Bhagwan ki akhanda bhakti. In different ways, different modalities, it's fine. So when we enter into that place, everything has a vibration, spandan. Isn't it so? It is a spandan. So is it possible to experience that same divinity of Golok while we are here? And that is the whole point. That is the absolute point. To experience, to be in that 10th bhakti, prema bhakti, wherever the bhakta is, in fact, the entire spandana, vibration, the reality around begins to dance with devotion. ये कैसे हो सकता है? How is that possible? That is possible, and that is divya anubhav. इसको कहते हैं दिव्य अनुभव. There's an incident in the life of Muktanand Swami. महाराज के एक बहुत बड़े संत थे. महाराज मीनिंग स्वामीनारायण भगवान, श्री जी महाराज. तो उनके जो ऐसे अमेजिंग संत थे, he was 30 years older than Maharaj at that time. But when he reached the 10th bhakti, and भगवान कृष्ण की मूर्ति है, राधिका जी की मूर्ति है, महाराज बैठे, सब संत बैठे, संतगण बैठे, मंदिर है, गोपीनाथ जी का मंदिर है, जो भी मंदिर था, whichever temple they were, भगवान कृष्ण के सब स्वरूप है in the original 9 Swaminarayan temples. There's a beautiful bhajan, that Muktanand Swami put on these garlands, and he took this. It's called kartal in Gujarati. This I don't have them here to show you, but they are actually this. It's like a with the hands it's like chipping them. It's like a I don't know how to describe it exactly, but it's an instrument that makes it's like a sound based instrument. So he got up, and when he reached the 10th bhakti, he started to dance in front of God. And there's a bhajan that he composed while he was dancing. It's a beautiful bhajan. It's sung in most, if not all, Swaminarayan temples. Vala ruma juma karata kaan amare ghira avajore. It's a beautiful bhajan. It's on the YouTube. See, this is 10th bhakti. Even here, while we are here, this is the point that it is possible to open the dimension of 10th bhakti here. And then the bhakta begins to dance. Koi abhiman nahi rehta, koi rag dvesh, all that thing is gone, long time back gone. Those things are too small, those things are meaningless. Kachra hai sab, wo sab gaya. Only the purified devotion remains. And the bhakta dances in the front of the Lord. And Bhagwan swayam bhakta ke paas aate hai. Or Bhagwan also dances with the Lord. Isi ko hi kehte hai Ras Leela. That's amazing. Bhakti ki top level. In Gujarati we say Bhakti ni parakashta chaya. Bhakti ni parakashta. Bhakti ni parakashta means the topmost devotion, the most extraordinary devotion. And Bhagwan Swayam wo vash ho jate hai. And Bhagwan ki daya se, Radhika ji ki krupa se kya hota hai isme? This abode, Nitya Vraj Bhumi, begins to reveal itself. And the bhakta becomes a mukta, a liberated being inside the abode. Those points are coming up in these further. Here it is. Implications for liberated selves. For the perfected soul, let's look at this paragraph. That is a siddha jiva. Now it's called a mukta, golokya mukta. Entrance into Vraja is not spatial relocation, but energetic commensurability. What that means is, let's say a devotee is sitting here, just in this Prithvi Lok. Bhakta has reached that stage by Krupa. It is in dhyan, in the meditation, that Siddha Deha, eternal spiritual body, the liberated being's eternal spiritual body is developed and resonates with the same Sandhini frequency as the Vraja's environment, rendering every sensory input as rasa alambana, support for aesthetic relish that perpetually intensifies devotion. The devotee thus co-creates Vraja through an effective reciprocity with Sri Krishna, fulfilling the reciprocal purpose Sandhini Shakti is designed to uphold. This is very advanced language. I know it's difficult to understand. I'm going to really try to break it up. Try to explain it. While we are living here in this body, another body is being created. And that body is called Siddha Deha. Siddha Deha, an eternal spiritual body, is being generated when we are engaged in devotion, Jnana, Bhakti, Vairagya, Bhagwan ke saath link, our internal linkage. As that begins to happen, the liberated beings, the Siddha, the Jivatma becomes a Siddha Jiva, a Siddha state. And the location is not a spatial relocation. It's not like you're going from one planet to another like through a rocket ship. It is a relocation in consciousness. So the liberated beings, the Siddha Deha, eternal spiritual body, resonates with the same Sandhini frequency as the Vraja's environment. Meaning that the environment, the material that the Golok Dham is made out of, that material and the body of the Mukta resonates with that material. See, we don't experience that here. Like if I'm holding a stone in my hand, I say the stone is different from me. I can take a stone and throw it, I can do something to it, whatever, all that. And we don't really resonate with that. You say this is different, this is a jad vastu hai, this is not me. But that's not the case in the Golok Dham. Golok Dham mein, the Siddha body, the eternal spiritual body, jisko Golok ke Mukta kehte hain in the Swaminarayan terminology, jo Golok ke jo Mukta, they resonate with the same Sandhini frequency as the Vraja's environment. व्रज भूमि का जो environment है, वो सब दिव्य भूमि है, it's the same, it resonates with that. And in that resonance, every sensory input, it renders, what is the anubhav of the mukta? Rendering every sensory input as rasa alambana. Rasa alambana meaning that the sensory input through the divine body experienced by the mukta, the rasa that is experienced, the input itself is a rasa alambana. Rasa alambana. That is how it is pronounced. Alambana means support for aesthetic relish. Aesthetic meaning the rasas of devotion, they are supported by, they are opened up by the sensory input that is coming through the mukta's body with the vraja environment, with the actual material that is created by Bhagwan Krishna as the bhumi that is called the abode of God, the substance with which the abode is created. I know that sounds a bit complicated. That the mukta body also has senses, but they're not like our senses. They are divine senses. And those divine senses allow for the sensory input. Just like we have senses now, there's input coming through the senses. And then there is anubhav. Like if I see a rose, I can only see a rose because I have eyes, the stimulation is there, and then iska anubhav hota hai, there's experience inside. Similarly, through the divine body, there is the input into the divine body of the experience of the Vraj Bhumi, Golok Dham ke jo sab, the material that is there, and that input, that sensory input, every sensory input is rasa alambana. It is a support which, what does it do? This is the amazing part. Absolutely amazing part. It is perpetually intensifying devotion. Bhakti increases fold upon billions of times. It increases. And that is only possible through the Siddha Deha, through the body of the liberated being. Amazing baat hai ye. Absolutely tremendous that there is such liberation. This is called liberation. The devotee co-creates Vraja through affective reciprocity with Sri Krishna. There's a constant reciprocity. It is a communion. It is a back and forth of emotion. Divine emotion with Bhagwan Krishna is going on. Kya amazing baat hai. Fulfilling the relational purpose, Sandhini Shakti is designed to uphold. The whole purpose of the Sandhini Shakti is so that the Mukta can create this, the Mukta can be in a relational bond inside the abode of God, the Nitya Vraj Bhumi, the Golok Dham, inside that abode, the Mukta, the liberated being, the Golok ke jo Mukta hai, they can be in a communion, eternal relationship with Bhagwan Krishna in the abode of God. And that Sandhini Shakti is what creates the abode of God. And there's a full resonance with it. It is just absolutely mind-boggling. Our mind cannot imagine this thing. ये तो लिखा है ऐसा. We cannot ever imagine this. यतो वाचो निवर्तन्ते अप्राप्य मनसा सब. उपनिषद में ही लिखा है. Our mind senses can never touch this. Even though this is described, this is a synthesis of many teachings of the Vaishnava Acharyas. What an amazing thing this is. Amazing sthiti ye kya hai? Unending devotion, ever increasing joy that doesn't ever get saturated. There is no limit to that joy. That is not the case here in this world. But when we are opening our bhakti by krupa, we get glimpses of this, and this is the 10th bhakti. Even though we're living here, but the moment by the grace of God and the great sages, there's a breakage out of the Jagrat Swapna Shushupti. Then, even though this body is there, the Jivatma is a liberated being while living in this body. And that is called Jivan Mukta. And that Jivan Mukta is given Anubhav from time to time. भगवान की इच्छा से ये दिव्य धामों का दर्शन होता है. There's so many Vachanamrut, Garada Pratham 1, Garada Pratham 49, Garada Madhya 13. There's so many upon so many. Vachanamrut में इसका thorough explanation है. It is an extracted explanation. और सब वैष्णवों के जो शास्त्र है, over 1,000 books at least are there. More than that. It might be over 5,000 actually. You put all the acharyas together. It's thousands of books. We cannot ever get to the end of all of that. But this is the extract. And it is possible to evolve into this extraordinary state. But what do we need to do? We absolutely have to dump all the trash in our mind. Kachras. Mana mandir na khune khune thi kachro kaadhi naak jo. There's a beautiful bhajan I heard years back. Tu rangai jane rangama. Sita Ram na satsang ma, Radhe Krishna na satsang. It's a Gujarati bhajan. Mana mandir na khune khune thi kachro kaadhi naakjo. Kitni sundar baat hai. It means from the temple of the mind, from every nook and cranny and corner, remove the dirt. Like when we want to clean our house thoroughly, in the corners, it's difficult to reach those corners where the dust is there and the things are stashed. You have to go and really clean it up and dig it up and throw it all out. Mana mandir na khune khune thi kachro kaadhi naak jo. यही बताते हैं भगवान के संत परंपरा जितनी हुई है सनातन धर्म में, वही कार्य उनका है. To clean up the antakarana and to present the bhakta as a mukta at the feet of Bhagwan Sri Krishna Paramatma. That is their purpose. They are sent by Bhagwan Sri Krishna Paramatma in this world for just this purpose. Anyway, this could go on forever. And it should. That's the whole point. ऐसे मनन चिंतन भजन कीर्तन in Golok में यही अनुभव है. It goes on forever. There's no break. In the material world we have to have time limits. ऐसा सब है. वहाँ नहीं है ऐसा. इसके बहुत interesting बात है. Fascinating stuff is coming up by the grace of Bhagwan Krishna and Radhika ji and all the Guru Parampara. We want to cover this all the way until the end of this year, until the first of next year. And whatever is the divine will for next year, we will see. Wherever he wants to take us. But we will continue on this all the way until the end of this year. Let's close for now. Om Vameyasya Sthita Radha Shrisha Yasyasi Vakshasi Vrindavana Viharam Tam Sri Krishna Mrudi Chinte Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama 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 Sri Krishnam Tam Gatir 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 Mama Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमः शिवाय, 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 ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डायै विचे, ओम ग्लौं हुं क्लीं जुं सह ज्वालय ज्वालय ज्वल ज्वल प्रज्वल प्रज्वल, ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डायै विचे ज्वल हम सं लं क्षं फट् स्वाहा, दुर्गे दुर्गे रक्षिणी ठ ठ स्वाहा, श्री दुर्गार्पणमस्तु, श्री राधा कृष्णार्पणमस्तु, ह्रीं स्वाहा।